Good evening, my cherished settlers. Today, we gather not just as neighbors, but as a community united in our vision for a brighter future. As we continue to grow and thrive, it is essential that we enhance the quality of life for every resident. To that end, I am thrilled to announce the establishment of 3 vital pillars that will enrich our lives: a tavern, a church, and a small manor house. First, let us speak of the tavern, a place where laughter echoes, stories are shared, and friendships are forged. This will be more than just a place to quench our thirst. It will be a vibrant hub of our community. Here, weary traders will find warmth and hospitality, and locals will gather to celebrate life's joys and support one another in times of need. It will be a sanctuary where we can unwind, share our dreams, and strengthen the bonds that make us a family. Next, we turn our hearts to the church, a beacon of hope and solace for all. In this sacred space, we will find guidance, comfort, and a sense of belonging. The church will be a place for reflection, celebration, and community gatherings, where we can come together to honor our traditions and support one another in our spiritual journeys. It reminds us of the values that unite us and inspire us to be our best selves, fostering compassion and understanding among all who enter its doors. Finally, the Manor House will stand as a symbol of our commitment to leadership and stewardship. This will be a place where decisions are made, where the voices of our citizens are heard, and where we can gather to discuss the future of Central Namatine. It will serve as a center of governance, ensuring that our community thrives under wise and compassionate leadership. Together, these 3 establishments will create a foundation for a vibrant and fulfilling life in Central Namatine. So let us join our hands and hearts together as we endeavor to construct these community spaces. Heyo and welcome to another episode of Build&Battle Season 3, where we will build a beautiful medieval city while battling off famine, mutiny, and the bitter cold. In the last episode, we began fusing the district of Central and Old Namatine together by adding in some trade to Central Namatine and production lines that are crucial to the future development and wealth of Old Namatine. So if you happen to miss the last episode, then click on the info card above, or if you're looking for a new Manor Lords series to binge watch, then check out the entire Build&Battle Season 3 playlist located in the description below. In today's episode, we will continue to grow Central Namatine by providing its residents some quality of life by constructing a church, pub, and a manor house, so that we can, tax the bejeebers out of all the residences in all of our districts. We will then purchase our first development points in anticipation of Central Namatine's future growth. So are you enjoying Build&Battle Season 3? If so, hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you're most excited to see in the upcoming episodes. If you can't wait to see the season unfold, consider becoming a channel member for exclusive perks, emojis, and early access to the videos. And don't miss out on our Build&Battle Season 3 merchandise linked in the description below. Alrighty, I'm wicked excited to start today's build, as I want to play a little experiment today as well. So kick back, grab your caffeinated beverage of choice, and let's jump right on into it. So we're going to want to start today's build by first adding in our church, as this is a requirement for our level 1 burgage plots to grow to a level 2. Now, I would like to snuggle this in a bit closer to our Brondo burgage plots, as I want the steeple of the church to act as another skyline element against the windmill. Therefore, I think placing it right about here in front of the windmill and on the same side, as one of the major, I guess it's not really a super major, but along the same side as one of our inter-district roads, will be quite practical and aesthetic. Later on in the episodes, I have a little trick that I want to employ in the backyards of the burgage plots to give this area a bit of a community park vibe, so I want the church to be able to kind of play alongside that. So let's come on in and place in the church, ensuring that the structure is complemented and complements the old dilapidated windmill in the background. Eventually, we will want to upgrade this to a level 2 stone church. However, right now, I want to preserve our stone in case we need to upgrade any storehouses or granaries. In addition, we really don't need a stone church just yet, as the residents of Central Namatine will be happy enough with just the wooden one. Now what I would like to do is come in and set up our stonecutters camp, as I do want to start sorting this into our warehouse for the district. Once this resource node has been depleted, I will probably demolish the stonecutters camp so that the space can be used for something else, like spamming burgage plots. Okay, I think this should work just for now. It's not exactly an aesthetic build, but it is just temporary. So let's move on to the tavern as I have a little bit of an impulsive experiment I want to attempt. Alrighty, so for the tavern, I want to try and add in a bit of an experiment and an aesthetic build, so bear with me as this will be a bit of an explanation. So for starters, this project will last over a few episodes as I want to fuse the beekeeping development points, fertilization farming development points, and the tavern together. What I'm aiming for is a tavern that not only provides ale, but also mead produced by our berry deposits and honey. Aesthetically and imaginatively, of course, as these mechanics do not actually exist in the current version of Manor Lords, but it would be very cool if it did. So for today, we are going to start by placing in our tavern in a bit of a central location so that it can distribute amongst a wide range of burgage plots, but I also want to be able to fit a few morgens of barley fields in nearby. So honestly, I think right here should work just fine as I think we could squeeze in 1 or 2 morgens of barley fields inside our future city walls. Should we want more barley fields, we could place it up outside the city walls along this forest's edge. So let's start with a bit of a modular build by pausing our game and first placing in our tavern. I also want to snuggle in maybe 2 malt houses to help process the barley. One will be used as soon as we have a barley field up and running to process the barley into malt, while the other will be more of a placeholder in case we need more production. We can also pretend that the second one stores and processes mead. Again, in our imaginations. Once these have grown in, we will work on the fields next. Alright, now for the fields. I'm going to start by designating a single field inside the future city walls to the tavern as a sort of extension of the tavern itself for a bit of a creative and beautiful modular build. I'd like to place it here as the barley fertility is awful. Well, honestly, it's awful everywhere, but part of the experiment is seeing whether or not the fertilization development point can actually change the fertility of this cruddy soil. So let's start by adding in our farmhouse and also a few the fields themselves, and I want to be sure to leave some space for our future beekeeping assets. For a few episodes, these fields will not yield much barley, but that is okay for now. Our burgage plots don't require ale just yet, and once we have grown central nomatine a little bit more, I plan on taking that fertilization development point to see if sheep poop will change the fertility of our soil, and I'll also be taking the sheep breeding so that the sheep pastures are self-sustainable. Alrighty, while we wait for the seasons to change and barley to grow, let's work on our manor house, and I think I would like to snuggle it in close to our trading post, as I would like to attempt to diversify the manor house across our territories just a little bit. Ultimately, I am thinking that the manor house in Old Namatine is sort of a historic tax office, while the manor house in Central Namatine is more along the lines of a additional trading post, where, maybe perhaps the goods aren't bartered with directly, but perhaps routes are drawn, employment records are kept, trade records, kinda etc. there. Therefore, let's start by getting our manor house constructed close by our current trading posts. I will then add on the tax office and a few extensions to kind of help bulk it up. Now let's come on in and add tax revenue, because we do need to stay on top of the treasury if we wish to stay ahead of the king's tax. So let's come on in, and I'll probably set this to about 5% just for now, as I want to bring in more revenue, but not at the cost of stagnating our regional wealth and preventing new residents from moving into Central Namatine. Before we wrap up today's episode, let's expand our district with some additional housing and spend some of our development points. I am actually going to start with our dev points, and I'm going to start by taking apple orchards first. As I did mention earlier in this episode, I want to create a community park-like area around our dilapidated windmill. The foliage the apple orchards provides, I think, will be key to this, as we really cannot easily place down individual trees to decorate an area, but it will simultaneously provide us some additional food as well. I also want to start with this, as it can take actually 3 in-game years to fully mature our apple orchards. So let's buy this development point and then try to upgrade our backyards if our regional wealth allows us to. So we will start with the apple orchards. And we don't have the regional wealth just yet, but I will keep an eye on this, and either in between episodes or in between moments here, I will upgrade these when we have, 50? Yeah, 50 regional wealth. Next, let's see if there are any burgage plots we'll be able to upgrade to level 2 so we can start generating more regional wealth and take our second development point. The church was kind of key to this, so I'm hoping we may be able to upgrade a few of these, but a lot of it is going to depend on our trade, specifically our clothing. So if you noticed a little in that time lapse, I realized why we were unable to upgrade any of our burgage plots to level 2. First, it looks like we actually need leather, linen, or yarn for the level 1 burgage plots according to the marketplace. Second, we are still on the cusp of food supply requirements, so let's come on through and let's use our regional wealth to increase some eggs, meat, and maybe even an apple orchard or two if we're able to. Finally, let's expand our district then by adding a few more burgage plots in, as we do have a huge demand in workforce now, so we want to start being able to bring in new residents. Alrighty, everyone, I think that just about wraps up today's episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that like button, subscribe, and leave me a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on today's build. If you're excited to see the next episode unfold, consider becoming a channel member for exclusive perks, emojis, and early access to videos. And don't forget to check out our Build and Battle Season 3 merchandise linked in the description below. Until next time, I hope everyone has a phenomenal week.